Once upon a time, in the city of Lagos, Ikorodu to be precise, there lived a pretty girl named Sarah. Sarah was a young university student. She lived in the school hostel with her friends. The hostel was a big building with many rooms. Each room had 2 beds, 2 desks, and 2 wardrobes. Sarah shared her room with her best friend, Chioma. Sarah and Chioma did everything together. They went to classes, ate lunch, and studied in the library. They liked to laugh and talk about their dreams. But Sarah had a secret. She loved men who had lots of money. She liked it when they bought her pretty dresses and shiny jewelry. She thought money could buy her happiness. Sarah's family lived in the village. Her father, Mr. Chukwuma, was a farmer. He grew yams, corn, and vegetables. He worked very hard in the fields every day, from morning till night. Sarah's mother, Mrs. Chukwuma, was a teacher at the village school. She taught young children how to read and write. Mr. and Mrs. Chukwuma were not rich, but they loved their children very much. Sarah had 2 younger brothers, Kelechi and Obi. The family lived in a simple house. They didn't have much, but they were happy. They always had enough food to eat and clothes to wear. Sarah was the first in her family to go to the university. Her parents were very proud of her. They saved money for many years to pay for her school fees. They wanted her to have a better life and more opportunities than they had. Sarah, my dear, her mother would say, study hard and make us proud. Education is the key to a bright future. Her father would nod and smile. Remember, we are always here for you, he would add. Sarah loved her family very much. She knew how hard her parents worked to support her education. She wanted to make them proud, but sometimes she felt sad because she didn't have the fancy things that some of her friends had. She dreamed of having pretty dresses, shiny jewelry, and living in a big house. One day, Sarah met a girl named Lola in one of her classes. Lola was always dressed in the latest fashion. She had expensive handbags and wore expensive shoes. Sarah admired Lola and wanted to be friends with her. Lola liked Sarah too, and soon they became close friends. Lola often went to Lagos to attend parties and go clubbing. She invited Sarah to come along. "Come with me, Sarah," Lola said. "It will be so much fun. You will meet lots of rich men who can give you everything you want." Sarah was excited. She had never been to Lagos for parties before. She wanted to see what it was like. She agreed to go with Lola. That evening, they dressed up in their best clothes. Sarah wore an expensive dress that Lola had lent her and put on some makeup. She felt like a big girl. They left the school hostel and took a taxi to Lagos. The city was very big and bright. There were tall buildings, many cars, and colorful lights everywhere. Sarah was amazed. They went to a big club with loud music and flashing lights. The club was full of people dancing and having fun. Lola introduced Sarah to some rich men. They bought them drinks and danced with them. Sarah felt happy and excited. She enjoyed the attention and the gifts the men gave her. She loved the way they made her feel special. Every weekend, Sarah and Lola would leave the school hostel and go to Lagos. They attended many parties and went to different clubs. Sarah started meeting more rich men who gave her money, clothes, and jewelries. She loved the glamorous life and excitement of the city. But soon, Sarah's grades started to drop. She was too tired from all the partying to study. She missed classes and failed some of her tests. Shoma noticed the change in Sarah. "Sarah, you need to be careful," Shoma said. "Remember why you are here. Your parents worked so hard to send you to the university. Don't let them down." Sarah knew Choma was right, but she couldn't stop. She loved the fancy lifestyle and the attention she got from the rich men. She promised herself that she would do better in school. But every time Lola invited her to a party, she couldn't say no. One night, Lola told Sarah about a very special party. "There will be many rich and powerful men there," Lola said. "It's a great opportunity for us." Sarah agreed to go. She dressed up in her best outfit and put on her most expensive shoes. At the party, Sarah met a man named Kunle. He was very rich and charming. He gave her money and complimented her dress. They exchanged numbers and left. Sarah loved her family very much, but as time went on, she started feeling more and more drawn to the parties and the glamorous life in Lagos. She went out with Lola almost every weekend, dancing and meeting rich men who showered her with gifts. But soon, Sarah began to feel like something was missing. The parties and gifts weren't enough anymore. One night, at a club in Lagos, Sarah met a group of girls who smoked cigarettes. They looked cool and confident. Sarah wanted to fit in, so she tried smoking too. At first, it made her cough and her eyes watery, but soon she got used to it. Smoking made her feel grown up and rebellious. As Sarah spent more time in Lagos, she started going to parties almost every night. She loved the attention from the rich men, but some of them started asking for more than just dancing and talking. They offered her money to spend the night with them. At first, Sarah was shocked. She didn't want to do anything wrong or hurt her family's feelings. But the more parties she went to, the more tempting the money became. She thought about how she could buy all the pretty dresses and jewelry she wanted with the money. So one night, she agreed. Sarah didn't tell her friend in the hostel about what she was doing. She kept it a secret from Choma and everyone else. She knew they wouldn't understand, and she was ashamed of herself. But the money was too easy, and she needed it to keep up her new lifestyle. Meanwhile, back in Ikorodu, Sarah's parents were worried about her. They hadn't heard from her in a long time and missed her very much. Mrs. Chukwuma would sit outside their small house and pray for Sarah's safety every night. "I hope she's doing well," she would say softly to herself. One day, while Sarah and Choma were sitting in their room, Sarah got a message on her phone. It was from a man named Kunle. Kunle was very rich and always drove a big car. He asked Sarah if she wanted to go out for dinner. Sarah was very happy. She quickly said yes and told Choma about it. Choma was worried. She knew that Kunle was not a good man. "Sarah, be careful," Choma said. "Not all that glitters is gold. You should be with someone who loves you, not just someone with money." But Sarah didn't listen. She was excited about the fancy dinner. She put on her best dress and the new necklace Kunle had given her. Kunle arrived in his big car and took Sarah to a very expensive restaurant. They ate delicious food and drink. Kunle gave Sarah more gifts. She felt like a princess. After dinner, Kunle asked Sarah to come to his house. He said he had something special for her. Sarah was curious. She wanted to see what the special thing was. Kunle's house was very big and beautiful, with many rooms and shiny floors. He showed her around and then took her to a small room at the back. In the room, there was a table with candles and strange objects. Kunle started talking in a low voice. He told Sarah about a ritual that could make them even richer. Sarah didn't understand. She felt scared. She remembered what Choma had said. Suddenly, Kunle's face changed. He looked angry and scary. Sarah wanted to leave, but Kunle grabbed her arm. "You can't go now," he said. "We have to finish the ritual." Sarah's heart was beating fast. She knew she had made a mistake. She thought about her friends in the hostel and how safe she felt there. She wished she had listened to Choma. Just then, there was a loud knock on the door. Kunle let go of Sarah's arm to see who it was. Sarah saw her chance and ran out of the house. She ran and ran until she reached the hostel. She was out of breath and very scared. Choma was waiting for her. When she saw Sarah, she hugged her tightly. "I was so worried about you," Choma said. Sarah started crying. She told Choma everything that had happened. Choma listened and held her hand. From that day, Sarah decided to be more careful. She realized that the true happiness doesn't come from money or fancy things. It comes from love, kindness, and being with people who truly care about you. She learned a valuable lesson and promised herself to never make the same mistake again. She stayed close to her friends and focused on her studies. She knew that with hard work and true friendship, she could achieve her dreams. Sarah was thankful for Choma and the other friends she had in the hostel. They were her real treasure. Sarah's story taught everyone a valuable lesson. They learned that true happiness does not come from money, fancy clothes, or parties. It comes from love, honesty, and being true to oneself. Chasing after wealth and material things can lead to dangerous paths and make us forget what is truly important in life. More interesting stories will be dropping in this space. Do well to hit the subscribe button if you're yet to do so, for you not to miss out on these stories.